It's time for the second match of the True Power Tournament Losers Bracket, where trainers who lost their previous matches in the main bracket fight to get a chance to challenge the eventual champion. Last time we witnessed a thrilling battle between Erica, the gym leader of Celadon City, versus Indigo Plateau Elite Four member Koga in a highly strategic and quite intriguing matchup that showed how eager these trainers are for a second chance. Today we'll be viewing a battle between Brock, the current gym leader of Viridian City, versus Lieutenant Surge, the current gym leader of Vermillion, in a gym leader showdown. Let's see what their teams are looking like and what the prospects for this match are. Brock comes into the match with his rock-solid team that utilizes Sandstorm and has very tanky Pokemon overall, but a little bit of speed here and there to balance things out with Pokemon like Aerodactyl. Lieutenant Surge, on the other hand, has a very speedy and offensive team with perhaps his only decently bulky Pokemon being Lanturn and maybe Magnezone to an extent. The matchup looks to be a really good one, with each trainer having a few Pokemon that are kind of scary to each other's teams. This is truly a tank versus sweeper match, so let's see how it plays out by heading to the arena. A gym leader showdown, Lieutenant Surge of Vermillion City versus Brock of Viridian. Lieutenant Surge starting the battle off with his Electrode. Now, we've seen him use this lead before. It is a very utility heavy Pokemon, very fast as well, whereas Brock is going to start off with a fast Pokemon of his own, Aerodactyl. These are two of the fastest Pokemon in the game, really. Electrode should be able to outspeed though, and it does with the Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave on the Aerodactyl, that is not good. Because of course, especially within Brock's team, Aerodactyl does pride itself on its speed. Aerodactyl now going for the super effective Earthquake, but it looks like the Electrode has a berry of some sort. It might be a Shuka berry to actually weaken the ground type move. Wow, Electrode surviving that really well. And Brock perhaps not predicting that berry would be on there, and with a paralyzed Aerodactyl, he's in a bad position for this Electrode to start setting up, and he's going to switch into the Steelix. Now, Steelix has been, of course, quite an MVP on his team, and wow, the Electrode went for the Thunderbolt, but Brock predicting that, going into the Steelix to tank it. Now, Electrode doesn't have a whole lot of type coverage, so a good play from Brock, and now Lieutenant Surge sending out the Lanturn, of course. Lanturn, a big threat for his team, but here it is. The Mega Steelix is on the field. This thing has been putting in some work throughout the tournament so far. We'll see what it has in store, going with the Stealth Rock. So a good play there from Brock, actually predicting the switch and sending out the Stealth Rock, getting some setup moves on, of course, Lieutenant Surge's pretty speedy team. But here comes the Scald from the Lanturn, doing a huge amount of damage on the Steelix, but no burn, it seems, which means Steelix is going to get an unaffected stab super effective Earthquake off on the Lanturn, and wow, it takes it out too. The Lanturn going down despite how bulky it is. That was a huge attack from that Steelix. The Earthquake, wow, no burn. With the burn, it might not have killed. But of course, Lieutenant Surge couldn't pull the burn off, and now sending in the Electivire. Now, we saw how scary this Electivire is against Erica, of course. Huge type coverage, good speed too. And actually, Brock is going to be forced to switch out into the Tyranitar, perhaps anticipating maybe a special move and setting up the Sandstorm here. Let's see what Lieutenant Surge is going to go for. Yes, the Flamethrower. He did make a good decision against the Steelix, but not against the Tyranitar. Tyranitar is going to eat that up entirely. And now the Sandstorm starting to take effect on the Electivire. Electivire now going for the Earthquake. That is going to be super effective and should do a whopping amount of damage too. Let's see if Tyranitar can hold on. It does with 44 HP and can now respond with the Stone Edge, but it misses. Oh no! That is not good for Brock at all. The Stone Edge has missed. Electivire now able to just respond straight up with another Earthquake to take down a vital member of Brock's team. That is a dangerous position for him to be in now. How is he going to take care of this Electivire? It is getting hurt by the Sandstorm quite a lot, but if he doesn't have anything to counter it, it's going to be dangerous. Sending out the Rhyperior now. Rhyperior against Electivire. Ultimately, a good choice there. Lieutenant Surge is actually going to switch, so he's not going to keep in that Electivire. And sending out the Magnezone now. Magnezone, an interesting choice. Getting hurt by that Stealth Rock too, but it does have the Air Balloon item, which we just saw. Oh, what a prediction from Lieutenant Surge. Predicting the Earthquake and sending out perhaps his only thing that is technically immune to Earthquake right now, and going for the super effective Stab Flash Cannon on that Rhyperior. Rhyperior, of course, its special defense is helped by the Sandstorm, but it goes for the Stone Edge on the Magnezone, perhaps just trying to pop that Air Balloon. That Air Balloon is a disastrous item for Brock's team, really, because honestly, he really needs to use some ground-type moves to take out Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon. But now that Air Balloon has been taken care of, Magnezone going for the Flash Cannon, Brock switching into Mega Steelix. and it does tank it pretty well. It might even be able to tank another one. Let's find out if Lieutenant Surge stays in. He does. Goes for the Flash Cannon. There's not much he can switch into an Earthquake from a Steelix, really. And Steelix surviving on 10 HP. Should be able to get the Earthquake off here now. Yes, the Magnezone should inevitably go down. 4 times effective on the Magnezone. That is a big threat to Brock's team, taken down, especially with that air balloon. Without that item, it would be a very, very easy KO for Brock, but that was a good play from Lieutenant Surge, being able to get some good damage off on Brock's team. Now sending out the Jolteon, wanting to just revenge kill, outspeed, and take out that Mega Steelix finally. Mega Steelix putting in some good work, though, throughout the battle. It has kind of fulfilled its role, and now Brock needs to contend with another really fast Pokemon, Jolteon, sending out the Rhyperior again. Now, Rhyperior doesn't have that special defense boost, actually, from the Sandstorm, so it's going to have to tank the Shadow Ball here from the Jolteon. And it does! 30 HP, surviving the Shadow Ball and able to respond with a huge power Earthquake. That Jolteon has no chance, a very frail Pokemon. A lot of Lieutenant Surge's Pokemon are quite frail, very speedy, very powerful, but very frail. So this is a really interesting dynamic, because of course Brock's team is not very speedy at all, but it is bulky and it is powerful as well. Now, Lieutenant Surge sending out the Electivire to try and handle this Rhyperior, and Electivire going for the Earthquake. That should be able to take out that Rhyperior, no problem. So Rhyperior going down, also putting in some good work against Lieutenant Surge's team. He doesn't really have a good way to deal with that, especially when the Sandstorm helps with its special defense. So now Brock sending out the Kabutops. Kabutops against an Electivire does not seem like a favorable matchup here. Electivire going to go with the Wild Charge. That should be a one-hit KO on Kabutops, but Kabutops staying in with the Focus Sash, it looks like. The Focus Sash keeping it alive against this Electivire. And now Kabutops actually powering up with the Swords Dance. Are you kidding me? Brock is going for something here. He has something in mind. There's no way he just did this. Kabutops going for the priority Aqua Jet on the Electivire, outspeeding it, of course, out-prioritizing it, and taking down the Electivire. So actually, Lieutenant Surge has been pushed into an interesting position here, sending out the Raichu. Now, we do know his Raichu has a Focus Sash, but the Stealth Rock appears to have broken it. And now, going with the Aqua Jet again is Brock and taking down the Raichu, but the Raichu, its static ability actually paralyzes the Kabutops. This is insane. Lieutenant Surge on his last Pokemon, which could take out the rest of Brock's team quite easily with how fast it is. Aerodactyl, Omastar, and Kabutops, all weak to electric. Kabutops, no, breaking through the paralysis. Aqua Jet. Oh, the Electrode goes down. Brock actually emerging the victor when he looked to be pushed into quite a corner. But again, that's kind of one of the weaknesses of Lieutenant Surge's team, is that once the opponent gets offensive momentum, it is game over. Lieutenant Surge doesn't really have a way to deal with it. Wow, what a battle that was. Really interesting dynamics between these two teams. Of course, the Lanturn was a key factor there, going down to that Steelix. Lanturn, of course, is a really good Pokemon for Lieutenant Surge's team. It might have been more necessary given that it has of course, the Water type and the Electric type. And 4 of Brock's Pokemon are weak to water, whereas his other 2, Kabutops and Omastar, are weak to electric. So Lanturn was one of the biggest threats there for Brock's team, but he handled it really well in addition to the Magnezone. Brock pulling off some really, really smart plays there to take the battle 3-0 and move on to the next round of the loser's bracket. If you guys enjoyed this battle and are looking forward to the rest of the tournament, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next matches. Before we go, I'd like to thank the patrons who are making this tournament possible. If you guys want to help further this series' potential and support it, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. That's all for this one. This has been Soul Spectre, and I'll see you guys next time for more True Power.